My name is Frank Zakria, and as I record this video, we are 24 hours away from some of the polls actually closing. Like and subscribe, hate and comment. I've done a Florida video. You can check down below or somewhere. I don't know. I haven't set this up. So this is going to be my predictions of the 2022 midterms. Just so you know, I have a degree in political science. I've worked in politics for 20 plus years in South Florida. I am a Republican. I am a realist. So here we go. Now, the first thing is the House. The House will go Republican. That's not really a question. It's a midterm. There wasn't that many to get. But how high will it be? So if you go to Real Clear Politics or 538, they put it at as high as 260 if everything hit. I'm somebody who thinks the Republicans will end up with 242 plus or minus 3. At 242, that is a 19-seat majority. You could lose 19 seats and retain the House. In 2024, for the incoming speaker, Mike McCarthy, he will not have to retain so much of the wackadoo set. And by wackadoos, I mean libertarians. I mean, those are the guys, the Freedom Caucus, who tend to be the biggest pains in the ass. Adam Kinzinger, who tend to bolt the party as soon as they can. You may be saying, well, why? I'm a Trumper, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. The Trumpers will probably come in line. I mean, there'll be wackadoos, okay? There's going to be, the Greens and the Gateses out there. But they know how to kind of keep in place, essentially, and it won't be that big of a problem. It's going to be that libertarian sect that just is a pain in the ass. But with having 19, you don't have to worry so much. Now into the governor races. Democrats are going to take Maryland and Massachusetts. So, will you have more Republican governors or fewer Republican governors? I think you're going to have more. Michaels is going to win in Wisconsin. In Oregon, and this is how strong Johnson, the independent candidate, pulls. If they maintain 11%, then Drazen, the Republican, should win the race. If there is a coming to home moment, then the Democrats retain. One of the reasons why Oregon is hard to predict is because of the absentee ballots. So many people, like almost 100%, I believe, absentee ballot, that as the news came to be like, oh, the Republicans doing better, some of those Republicans who maybe just didn't care, or maybe they voted for the independent because they didn't think they have a shot, well, they can't get those ballots back. And if you're a Democrat and you're saying, oh no, we're losing, you might not even care to submit. That's why I think the Republicans do win there. And I also think the Republicans take the seat in Nevada. Now, Arizona, I'm going to say Lake's going to win by about 3 points. That'll be very important for the Senate race. And in Georgia, Kemp's going to win, I'm going to say about 6%. And that will have a lot of benefits when we talk about the Senate, into whether there is a winner on that night, because in Georgia you need 50 plus 1 to win, and if Warnock is going to be a 2-year senator. Ohio should stay Republican. Pennsylvania is going to be Democratic, and that also at about a 10% lead also has problems as well for Dr. Oz. Now on to the Senate. Right now it's of course a 50-50 split, and there are 7 races that are going to decide who controls the upper chamber. Now, a lot of news has been coming out of the state of Washington, and Murray is struggling. Now, why has this multi-term senator having problems? One is because he probably hasn't had a real election in a pretty long time. The other one is, quite frankly, when you are going against a photogenic female, young, with kids, who has a military background, that plays into account. And she's from she's from rural Washington. polls right now have Murray slowly chipped away within the margin of error at 2%. I'm going to say neither candidate is going to clear the 50. Now, they don't have to clear 50. You're going to have to look earlier into the night, and it's going to take a while to count. I've got an outside feeling I got about 40% chance it's going to flip. I'm going to say Murray's going to win. It's going to be real close. Now, in New Hampshire, Baltic will win over the incumbent. The incumbent is poorly running her campaign, and it would have been a slam dunk if Sununu would have ran for the office. Instead, he ran for re-election as the governor. But it's getting too close for Democrats for comfort, and they know they're going to lose that race. They're trying to get out the big guns, but there's just not enough, and I think you're going to see that seat flip. Nevada is also going to flip. Cortez is going to lose the seat to Laxative. I'm not good with pronunciations. He's going to win that seat. Dr. Oz. If we had this discussion even 2 weeks ago, I would say Dr. Oz would lose that seat. It's going to be how many people decide to split their vote. And the closer that gets to more than 10%. 11 is like a threshold figure. In the Florida, in the video I bring it about against Ron DeSantis, that's going to help Marco Rubio because Democrats will just kind of stay home. If they are engaged in the governor's race and they see that it's 11 points or more, it'll open that proverbial dam. I do think that Dr. Oz will pull it out because I don't think the governor's race in Pennsylvania is as deciding as the governor's race in Florida. Georgia will go to overtime. I'm going to say that Walker is going to lead because there is a third-party candidate. You get about 3% of the vote. I think Walker is going to lead, and we're going to see what happens in the overtime. Ohio will stay Republican because of how strong the governor is doing. Johnson will win re-election in Wisconsin. In Arizona, as close as that Republican is getting, I don't see Kelly winning. I don't see Kelly losing because in Arizona they have had a pretty good chance, a pretty strong ability to vote split, and they will choose the moderate. And in this case, it is Kelly. And North Carolina will stay Republican. So based on my math, because Nevada will go red and New Hampshire will go red, you'll be looking at 52-47 with one to be decided in overtime, with the possibility of Washington and Arizona for the Republicans. On the other side, Dr. Oz could lose it in Pennsylvania, but I do think the Republicans will win either way. Now, 5 races to look at. Florida, how big the margin of victory is for Ron DeSantis for the presidential run. New York, how small the margin of victory is for the Democrats in their governor's race. 3, Michigan, how quickly the Democratic incumbent governor wins her seat. 4, Utah, the Republican will win, but how close it is that the independent draws will determine how well you are going to see him maybe become a possibility to have some sort of cabinet position as a bridge for Joe Biden. And 5, the long draws. These are the House seats in New York and in Pacific that 538 and Real Clear Politics puts as toss-ups. How few of them actually flip to the Republican. So Hudson Valley and some parts inland in California. If any of them flip, that's bad for Democrats. but I think Republicans will not win many of those seats. So like and subscribe, hit and comment, and we'll see you after the election.